You know those optical illusions where what you see at first glance isn't really the whole picture? Well, it turns out figuring out what a company is worth can be a lot like that. It's so easy to get the wrong idea because what seems obvious on the surface often hides a much, much more interesting story. Today, we're going to unpack that illusion.
Okay, let's just get right into it with a company we all know, Apple. They make a ridiculous amount of money from the iPhones and MacBooks they sell right now. But here's the thing. If you add up all the money they're expected to make from just those current products, you don't even get close to its total value on the stock market. So where do all those extra billions and billions of dollars in value come from? That is the puzzle we're solving today. So the first clue is to stop thinking about a company's value as just one big number. It's actually made of two very different parts. And once you learn to see both of these halves, the entire picture of corporate value gets way, way clearer. The first half, that's the straightforward part. This is the value of everything the company has already built and everything it's doing right now. We're talking about the earnings from all its past investments, the factories, the patents, the products already on the shelves. For Apple, this is the cash rolling in from the iPhones they're selling today. It's kind of the static, tangible part of the whole equation. And here is the second, much more exciting half. This is really where the magic happens. It's called the present value of growth options, or PVGO for short. And it's the value of what a company might do in the future. It's the potential for a brand new product we haven't even dreamed of yet, or maybe expanding into a whole new market. You know, for a young biotech firm, this part could be almost all of their value, while for a steady old utility company, it's going to be a lot smaller. So the whole thing boils down to this really simple but super powerful formula. A company's total market value is what it has now, its assets in place, plus the value of its future opportunities, its growth options. This little equation is the key that unlocks that whole puzzle we started with. That extra value we see in companies like Apple, it's coming from the PVGO. Okay, that's all great in theory, right? But how in the world do you actually put a number on something as fuzzy as future opportunities? I mean, that sounds impossible, but there's a surprisingly slick way to do it. Instead of trying to guess the future, financial pros use this neat trick called back-solving. It's a really simple three-step process. First, you just look up the company's total value on the stock market. Easy enough. Second, you do the work to calculate the value of its current business, its assets in place. And then finally, you just subtract that number from the total. Whatever's left over, boom, that's what the market thinks the company's growth options are worth. Let's make this real with an example. Back in 2006, some analysts took a look at a mining company called Falconbridge. Get this, its total market value was about $15.8 billion. After they valued all its operating mines, its assets in place, they did the subtraction. The result is kind of shocking. Look at that last row. Somewhere between 23 and 52%, maybe more than half, of the company's entire value was tied up in its growth options. We're talking about new mines it hadn't even started digging yet. Seeing that over half a company's worth can be tied to the future just makes you wonder, right? It leads to a much deeper question. Where do these incredibly valuable opportunities actually come from? I mean, why do some companies have them and others just don't? Well, to understand this, strategists basically look at it from two different angles. There's the external perspective, which says value comes from a company's position within its industry, how it stacks up against the competition. Then there's the internal perspective, which argues that the real value comes from inside the company itself, from its unique, hard-to-copy skills. The external view is often analyzed using this classic framework called Porter's 5 Forces. It's all about looking at the competitive battlefield. How tough is the rivalry with other companies? Is there a big threat that some new startup could just jump into the market and steal customers? A company that can build a strong defense against all these forces creates some really valuable opportunities for itself. Now, let's flip that and look inward. This other perspective, it's called the resource-based view, and it argues that a lasting advantage doesn't really come from the industry. It comes from the company itself. It's all about having unique resources and capabilities that your rivals just can't copy. It's about what a company is and what it can do that nobody else can. Think about Tesla for a second. Its core capability isn't just making cars. It's their deep, one-of-a-kind know-how in the electrification of cars. That unique internal skill is a massive source of its future growth options, letting it innovate in ways its competitors are still struggling to catch up with. Or take Coca-Cola. Its advantage isn't just a secret recipe. It's the sheer power of its brand name and its global advertising machine. These are intangible internal capabilities built over a century that let it create massive value and just brush off rivals. A powerful technical skill can become an absolute fortress. Microsoft's dominance, for example, was built on its unique internal capability of programming its operating system. This created a platform that just spun off decades of valuable growth options, from office software all the way to cloud computing. So we've got our assets in place, we have these valuable growth options, and we have these internal and external forces that create them. Now, let's pull it all together into one big idea. The solution to our puzzle is this framework called the Expanded Strategic Present Value. It combines three powerful ideas. First, it uses traditional finance, like DCF analysis, to value what the company already has. Second, it adds in what we've been talking about, real options theory, to put a value on those future growth opportunities. And then, crucially, it layers on game theory, which forces you to think like a chess player and predict what your competitors are going to do next. It basically tells you what a company has now, what it could do next, and who might try to stop it. This completely changes how you can look at a company's value. It's not just some number on a spreadsheet. It's a story about the past, the future, and the competitive battle that's about to be fought. So the next time you look at a company, ask yourself, beyond what they sell today, what are their hidden growth options? You might just find that the real value is in the part of the story that hasn't even been written yet.